fun fact, I love cooking. I was kind of wasting time earlier after work. I was just contemplating life and deciding if I wanted to study or not, and it just didn't seem like it was going to ever happen. So then I started thinking like, oh, maybe I can make some food. So then I didn't want to because it's cold outside, and I didn't have any groceries, so I wanted to go grocery shopping, and I didn't really feel like being around hella strangers, and I was just letting like my mind get the best of me. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop being a lazy ass and just go to Trader Joe's. So I did. I'm going to make my own version of a Chipotle bowl. I'm not gonna look at any recipes online or anything. I'm just gonna make it and just see what happens. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I'm going to make frijoles because they take the longest to make. Just get a little pot. I'm gonna put all the frijoles. We don't measure out here, okay? I wash them and then we'll fill it up with water. I just put them on the stove and they'll be there for like 3 hours until they get a little squishy on like super low heat, the lowest possible. Once they're almost ready, we'll add some salt, but for now, they could just hang out right there. So I never buy meat, so I'm actually pretty scared to open this. I'm just gonna try to like slow cook it for a long time and just add a bunch of like stuff to it. So this is beef brisket. I use this big chunky knife to just cut it into big like square things. I think this should be fine because I mean it's going to simmer for a long time, so my goal is for it to like get shredded. I like the one from Chipotle, the one that's shredded. So I'm just gonna stick this in my pot that I have over here on the stove. I'm going to add, I found this can of diced fire roasted tomatoes at Trader Joe's, and I had chicken broth at home. I'm going to add that, and I'm just going to add just a bunch of random spices and just see like, maybe it'll work out. So I grew up watching my mom and my grandma cook, my dad's mom and my mom cook, and they kind of just like, they don't measure anything. They just like toss things together. They don't even have ingredients. They just like put whatever they have and they just make it happen. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add this salsa, or these tomatoes. I'm going to add the chicken broth. The kitchen's really small, so like, oh, okay, this is probably good. So I added that. I'm going to add some of this chicken broth. Don't look at my nalotas. I'm just gonna cover the beef, I guess. I'm going to add all these like seasonings, and I'm going to add this, bay leaves, because that's what my grandma does. So we're just gonna add all of this to the pot. Oh, this isn't working out. Is that a good angle? Probably. Maybe I'll just turn it on now. I'm gonna put pepper. Oh, that's probably too much. Garlic powder. Paprika, cumin, and some oregano. I like to put it on my hand and then smash it. I'll put some of these little leaf things. Garlic. Can you even see me? Garlic. So I'm going to put that in, I'm going to make that boil. And then once it boils, lower it and put the lid on and just leave it there for a few hours. I forgot to put salt. I'm gonna put sea salt. Just a little bit. A lot of it. I have cilantro. I'm going to use this for both the pico de gallo and for the cilantro rice. I like to take off this like nasty part. Cause like when you're eating salsa and you get one of these things, ugh, it tastes so nasty. So I'm just gonna dice it. Not dice it. Finely chop it. With cilantro, you wanna do it slowly. My mom used to always yell at me when I was little and I would cut it like this. Cause she said I would like mess it up. But she's probably right. She's always right. This one's for the salsa, and this one will be for the rice later in the future. I already have an onion here that I used the other day. Take off the ends. I love cooking. It's so therapeutic. I think I actually like cooking more than I like makeup. I'm not like the best at it, but I like to believe I am. The other thing too that sucks about cooking is that when you cook yourself, it never tastes good. Or it never tastes like as good as you expect it to. I think it's because like you're like smelling everything and you're tasting it. So by the time it's ready, you're just like, eh. And then somebody tells you that it's like really good and you're just like, you're lying. When you cut onions, use a big knife. I hate when I watch like cooking videos and people are cutting with like a little thing like this, like, the fuck? No. I'm usually not this messy, but today I don't care. It's kind of late. And I probably should study eventually tonight. I like sleeping. Plus, I'm copying Chipotle and they don't cut their stuff nicely either. So I'm just gonna put a little bit for the pico de gallo there. And I'm gonna put some in my beef that's going on over here. I'm going to use this for the corn. And I have 2 tomatoes. I'm probably just going to use 1 because they're pretty big. I don't really like these big tomatoes. I usually get the smaller ones, but Trader Joe's have some nasty looking tomatoes, so I just got these. So again, put some jitomate for my salsa there. Or I mean tomatoes, sorry. And then I'm going to save some for the corn stuff that I'm gonna make. I also have some jalapenos here. I only need this for, oh no, actually I'm gonna use it for both. Oops. I know Chipotle puts this because I always get like this big chunk that's like hella spicy. So again, pico de gallo there. And then I'll just use the rest for the corn. So I already put a pot with a little bit of olive oil. Once that gets heated up, I'm just going to add the onion. I'm actually going to add this jalapeno to the carne over here, or to the meat. So we're gonna let those brown just a little bit. So we have our frijol, our beans, our meat, and this is gonna be the corn. I'm also going to add the jalapenos. is really bad. It sucks so bad. So. We're gonna let that cook for a little bit. Add the tomatoes. I got this super sweet corn from Trader Joe's. And I'm also just going to toss it in there. I'm just gonna add it all. Just let it simmer. Chipotle has onions, but they use them raw, and I always pick them out because they're too strong, and then you get like the nasty heartburn. That's why I want to cook this. So we'll let that sit there for a little bit. I have the romaine lettuce. Ooh, this is kind of ugly. I'm gonna wash it. My kitchen is so small. Literally one person fits in here. But I kind of like it because I hate being in the kitchen with too many people. I remember at my mom's house, like me, my brother, my sister, my dad, and all of us and my mom, we would all like be super annoyed when we were all in the kitchen. And like for some reason nobody in my house knows how to say excuse me. So there was a lot of like pushing or like opening drawers without like, you know, you get like hit with the drawer every time. I'm just going to cut off the this nasty stuff on top, and I'm going to take out the outer leaves too. And the bottom. So you're pretty much left with like nothing. That's the trick with Chipotle. They put a lot of lettuce to make it look like it's a lot, but it's really not. I put more water in there. My mom does this, so I'm copying her. I'm going to let it rinse in there for a little bit. My freaking battery died. I remember that Chipotle also has the kind of like fajita things. So I just like made that too. That's boring, nobody wants to watch that. Just bell peppers, onions, and a jalapeno. So I'm cooking that. I want to finish the corn and just make the rice. I forgot one thing. I already made salsa yesterday, so that's already done too. When we go to Chipotle, we never get the, oh my god, my cheeks are red from the cooking. We never get the like sour cream and the cheese, so I'm going to add that to the corn. I got this little weird sour cream, it's so weird. So I'm just going to add it on top of the corn. And I have this stinky cheese from Mexico. Me and my brother used to call it queso de pata because it's stank. So I have the corn, the fajitas, the beans, the meat. I have the pico de gallo, lettuce, the salsa. I still need to make the rice. I'm going to add a little bit of limon to the pico de gallo. I'm not going to add any salt or anything just because everything else already has salt in it. I also like adding the juice from the jalapenos. I just like to add a little bit. This is how the salsa looks. So one thing I want to add to this, the secret Mexican ingredient, caldo de pollo. So chicken flavored bouillon, whatever that's called. I just want to put a little bit, only because the cheese that I put in there is already really salty. My dream is to have one of those like big gas stoves. Look at this thing, it's almost like I can cover it. It's so little, so cute. The one thing I like really recommend, especially if like anybody has a small kitchen like mine, is just to put everything away once you use it, and then then just wash everything once you're finished with it, because it can get crazy. Stay. So this is how the corn looks. I measured 1 cup of rice. I'm just gonna wash it in here. I like to use this little hose thing. To kind of get that, like, I don't know what that is. That kind of weird color out. So for some reason, whenever I make rice, it never comes out. I was telling my friend the other day, and she told me that my ratios are wrong. So I guess my whole life, I've just been doing it wrong. Shout out Hazel, love you. So I put in there. She told me to get, if I do 1 cup of rice, do 1 cup of water. And I always did 1 cup of rice, 2 cups of water. I'm going to just add the cup of water in there. And I'm actually going to just go ahead and add the cilantro. And I'm also going to add, I have this Garlic Lovers by the Flavor God. Just gonna let it simmer for a little bit. So low heat, simmer, and then I'll put the lid on later. I think that's what she said. Okay, so I opened up the meat and I kind of like splashed it everywhere and burned my hand a little bit, but it's fine. It's looking pretty good. It's getting like a little bit tender. It still needs a few more hours, but so far it looks good. There's the rice. The beans still need a few hours. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. So I have everybody ready over here. It's already, the time is wrong. It's 10? Okay, so it's not 11, it's gonna be 10. So I started working out again. That's why I'm also trying to cook more and cook bigger meals that will last longer. This should last us, it's Monday now, so it should last us like a few days. Just want to lose my pooch and then have slim arms and then lose my chicken. So my rice is looking good. Nice and dry and fluffy like Chipotle. This thing is taking too long, so I cranked the heat up a little bit and I took off the lid. The beans probably need another like hour, 30 minutes to an hour. Hello, it's the next day. This took about like 5 hours to cook last night, so I've ended up falling asleep. But this is how it looks now. I haven't tried it yet, so let's just hope it's good. So everything is just shredded. Yay! So these bowls are closest shaped to Chipotle. So I'm just going to make it there. So put a little bit of rice. And then I put a little bit of beans on top. I forgot to add the fajitas, so I'll put some of those on top too. And then I'll heat it up. I went ahead and added the meat. I'm just going to add a little bit of the juice. I don't have any guacamole. So then, I think they add the salsa. And then they put the corn. I don't really like this, but I'm gonna put some on my peas. Oh, uh-oh. And finally, the lettuce. At home Chipotle. This serving, or this, I still have all of that left and all of that left. It was probably like $40 total. And We have like quite a few to go, so